you to tell me about your connection to Brixton. Where's it come from? Has it started? And how far does it go back?
I think we can go. Should we go individually? Well, my connection to Brixton is I've lived here since 1997, 98. So I'm very much a local resident for the last, 20 years plus. So that's my main connection with Brixton.
That's good enough, man. Some people have been there less than when they claim themselves to be
that's
Brixton.
true.
Yeah.
Brixtonite.
Brixtonite. Yes. That's the new word. Brixtonite.
Yeah.
And what about yours? Have you?
Oh wow. Okay. So Uncle Foster owned a shop on Coldharbour Lane, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Is it 348? I can't remember the number. I remember the phone number.
Which end is that?
That is
This end, isn't it?
Blackadred.
Yeah.
Opposite Blackadred.
Yeah.
Oh,
Foster's Bakery.
yes. Is that your family's?
Yes.
Hey.
I used to work in there on a Saturday when I was about 8. So that was about 1984. That's my.
So my connection to Brixton is first my uncle's bakery. I remember running up and down through the flour. And then when I was about 16, 17, I moved in with my sister. And college, so I was living with my sister for about 2 to 3 years. So.
Okay, so give me your experience of Brixton, man.
Oh, wow.
What's it like?
Okay.
It was 85. What is it, 89 we're talking
No,
about?
97.
97.
96, 97. No, 97, 98, sorry. Well, when I first moved to South London, because we're based in Northwest London, when I first moved to South London when I was 17, I moved to Camberwell. I didn't actually know that Camberwell was down the road from Brixton, and I was actually living on the corner of Coldharbour Lane. So kind of technically I was living in Brixton as soon as I moved to South London. I then discovered that, Brixton was down the road, and obviously it has a lot more kind of shopping, and my food is here. I can get like the West Indian food and stuff like that. You've got more of a selection than you do have in Camberwell. So I used to do basically my food shopping in Brixton. And then I managed to get a tenancy through Lambeth. So instead of Southwark taking me on, Lambeth took me on. So then I moved to my first flat in Loughborough Estate in Brixton. So yeah, and I would say over the years it has changed tremendously. There's a lot of gentrification going on. There's a lot of shops where like my old fishmonger, he's now gone.
Who was your old fishmonger then? Which one was it?
Oh gosh, the two white guys across the road from Argos.
Yes. Do you remember that fish shop? I used to love
now
that fish
one
shop,
of them,
man.
exactly. That was the best fish shop in Brixton.
That's famous, that brick shop, that shop there, man.
So now one of them actually works inside the market on another fish store.
Oh,
but it's not the same, yeah.
Okay.
But it's not the same, it's not the same. So unfortunately a lot of the shops, that have been there for 20, 30, 40 years, they are now slowly disappearing. So.
I remember telling someone, because I'm running the Green Man, right? And when we got the Green Man, well not now, but when it first started, they said to me, oh, it's not in Brixton, I'm really sorry Mikey, but it's in Coldharbour Lane.
Isn't that Brixton?
It's in Brixton.
He goes, no, I mean it's in the centre, it's not, Brixton is the centre. I said, no, that's where we meet.
Yeah,
I had
exactly.
to explain it to him.
Yeah.
No, that's where we meet. Then you've got all these other bits to Brixton, like
Yeah.
Coldharbour, Loughborough, Tulse, all these other
Yeah.
bits, right? And I think what you just hit on, the gentrification has arrived, but it's arrived late than this side, right? Because this side's kind of like the last to be getting it, right?
Because
You know
what
I mean?
they first went and did was kind of the oval quarters, what
Yeah.
they call oval quarters, which is actually Cowley Estate,
Yes.
that they knocked down in between Angel and going up towards Oval End. And you're selling these kind of new houses and branding them as Oval. You're not in Oval, you're in Brixton.
It's Brixton. Have you ever been involved in politics in any way? What was your first impression on politics? Can you tell me that?
Politics, Brixton. Television, media. Brixton Road. Brixton Uprisings.
Yeah, well, everyone knows it for the uprising, right?
Yeah, but I remember watching it on television. and not understanding it. And not understanding why it's happening. Not that I couldn't understand it, I just think there wasn't enough context around why it was happening. But I also think that's down to not wanting to share why people think it's happening. I think it's a very strategic way of saying that something is happening in Brixton, but don't be alarmed. Actually, no, be alarmed. Be alarmed that this uprising is happening, obviously riots at the time, but the way they're painting it is don't go to Brixton. Yeah. Like, you know, you're best off staying away, don't get involved. It's nothing to do with you. And obviously being from North West London, like, I don't want to go to Brixton, but, you know, having some form of outlet there anyway, actually, but I go to Brixton every week. So, but I know Brixton, even as young as I was, but that, in terms of politics, that would be my first unknowing interaction or understanding of politics. But obviously, in retrospect, you obviously being, you know, grown and then being politically interested and doing research on my own.
And where did that research take you? Has it made you active in any way? Participate in what's going on politically and to do what we say like black culture, for example?
Sure. My PhD is all around black culture.
You're doing a PhD?
I am, yeah.
Where are you studying that?
Goldsmiths.
Okay. And what year are you in now then?
I'm in my first year, but I'm part-time.
Okay. Is it difficult?
No.
Time consuming though, right?
Time consuming, but I love it.
Okay.
Yes.
And tell me about your PhD. What is it surrounding again? What are you doing again?
My PhD is on Lovers Rock.
Hey!
Michael,
a PhD. Wait!
we're not just sound ladies, darling. We're not just sound ladies. We have careers and paths, you know.
Yeah, my PhD is on Lovers Rock, specifically from a dance lens, but obviously intertwined with music because of sound system and growing up around sound system. I'm specifically looking at dance to answer questions about Britain at the time. So to kind of hold a magnifying glass or a stethoscope to London, Birmingham, through the lens of Lovers Rock and what that meant for the decade that it really reigned for the black community.
That's an interesting thingy because we talked about something about very similar to this, that if you look at history, in a sense, especially black history for me, right? When they first was over here, 60s, 50s, 60s, they'd get a punch in the mouth. We heard them say this, and they go, Lord Jesus, why did he just punch me? And he's there at home listening to Jim Reeves and turning the other cheek. But because each decade we got different music playing, right? And it became a bit more militant in how we reacted, right? So for me, Lovers Rock was that period where black people really, as black people, we found our own voice and our own genre. Because Lovers Rock.
Can I borrow your card again, please?
Because Lovers Rock is British, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I'm arguing it's an indigenous sound and dance.
Yeah.
It's indigenous music
Yeah.
to the UK.
It's specifically to the UK, and I think it's something we need to keep alive because when they try and give us a culture now, they give us American voices, which is not our story,
Absolutely.
right?
Do you mind just explaining a bit more about what you were saying about the indigenous nature of the music?
Of the music.
And like, yeah, just kind of, can you unpack like what it is that you're trying to find out that you think hasn't been explored or is underexplored and why you think that might be the case?
Oh, underexplored. Unpack. Yeah, I think in terms of music, in terms of black British music, although it's somewhat new, I'd say in the last 3, 4, 5, 6 decades, in terms of how we appreciate music, hasn't been explored. Nobody goes to a dance to stand still. They go to dance. However, there hasn't been enough interest or investigation into the dance itself. Like, how does the dance happen? And we know that there's a ritual of dance. You go in, you line up the walls, you don't go in the centre, you make sure the building's not going to fall down. You know, there's a whole, you know, each hour something changes, and we know it is from playing sound system as well, and in what style we should play. You don't play slow music at the beginning. There's a way to play music, there's a way to come into the dance, there's a way to appreciate the music, there's a way to end the night. All that hasn't been explored through the embodied experience of the music, and that's really what I'm trying to focus on. Musically, what I've seen investigations into things like bass culture, like the Bass Culture Project, the Black Music Research Unit at Westminster University, the Reggae Research Unit. Everyone's really interested in music, but nobody's really interested in how is the music appreciated. And I think that that's the real key to understanding how the psyche of the Black community works in this state, in this government, in Thatcherism, in through Thatcher's reign, through all of the reigns, the music has changed, but so has the dance changed. And I've noticed that Lovers Rock has left the UK and is global. You hear of it in Japan, but the dance didn't go. The music's gone, but the dance didn't go. But how you see people appreciating the music through dance is completely different to how it was done here in the 70s and 80s. So then the dance has stayed with the community, but the music has almost left the building in a sense and is able to transcend.
Why do you think that?
Because Lovers Rock, like many other double conscious, and I mean like Black people of the Atlantic traveling and migration, Lovers Rock is one of those music genres that is able to reach people just through how it sounds, not lyrically, but just through how it makes you feel, like reggae music. So Lovers Rock is a reggae music genre. We can't deny that. Dancehall is all of these are reggae, but the music can go, but the dance itself, unless the person is traveling, other people won't get the dance. So I find with Lovers Rock is a definite migration of people, just like reggae music is a migration of people, whether that's forced or otherwise. Where you find Black people, you'll find music and you'll find dance. And that's, but I don't know if there are Black communities in Japan just yet. There are a few, but I don't mean, not in terms of huge dance communities, people that are making and creating movement that goes along with sound.
You was talking about like the kind of political kind of sense that I have in what we have in Brixton. I would say one of the things that I used to get a lot of when I first moved down here is, oh my God, you live in Brixton.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you mean, oh my God? Like, yeah, living in Brixton is like living anywhere. No, it's so bad. Aren't you scared? Why would I be? I don't understand what I would be scared of. And it's that whole, Brixton has a very stereotypical kind of coat that people see, and it's almost like they want to wear that coat. You know what I'm saying? Because they take on that persona to say like, oh, Brixton is so bad, Brixton is so detrimental, people are so poor, so on and so forth, when actually I found it completely the opposite. Brixton is very much a community-based area. If you're from the area, people will look after you. It doesn't matter what kind of race or colour or creed or age or anything like that. If you're part of the community, you are part of that community, you know, and the community is not really going to let you go like that. So
I find that what I find is a lot of visitors who come to Brixton, they behave there, they think Brixtonians should behave.
Yes.
And sometimes it rubs against me because they're not understanding. They're claiming to want to be part of something and not actually gone through the suffering of understanding.
That's right.
To grow up and to be part of that, to frame, you know, the nuances of what it's like to live in an area with poverty, right? Where people are trying to make a little money and doing their little thing to get there. Whether it is you're going to have a dance downstairs in the balcony on your birthday to make a little change.
That's
right. You can't go knock the door and say, turn your music down, please. You've got to be part of all this.
Come and join in.
You join in.
Yeah.
That's right.
We're not going to knock you, but we'll knock you if you complain against us, because what we're trying to do is survive the best way we can. And you know, you're right. I always hear it all the time when people say.
Like I have my neighbours will come and knock my door. Excuse me, do you have some salt? Here you go. Do you have some potatoes? Here you go. Yeah. We still got that old kind of way of living, where as a community living, whereas I've lived other places and you don't even know your next door neighbour. You don't even speak to them or anything like that. But I believe Brixton still has that we'll look out for each other kind of
In my
vibe
poem, I do a
about
poem,
it.
Amplify Burns. I've been doing this poem for years, and there's a line I say that Brixton's got the open, hidden side. It's hidden, but it's open.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So it's hidden, but if you want a draw, you can get a draw.
Yeah.
If you want to put something, you can get something. But it's also hidden. It's not. We don't tell you that's the where it is there,
Sure.
but it's there. You know what I'm dealing with.
Yeah, like an unwritten rule.
It's
Yeah.
an unwritten rule. Yeah, yeah.
It's
So-
like you can have a really, really nice car in Brixton and not have it broken into. Of
course.
Nobody
Yeah.
would even touch it.
And you're
They would
right.
actually protect
Yeah.
the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But make you be somebody from out of Brixton, want to park your car in
your
that same
space,
space,
and something's gonna
you're going to
happen.
have problems. You're going to have
Yeah,
problems.
because when you grow up, I don't lock my car, right? So if I lock my car, I almost feel I'm having to go at my neighbours.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's like
As
me
I come out, and say,
putting my
"Tick,
bag
tick, tick,"
behind me,
checking
you know what I
everything,
mean?
making
Yeah.
sure, or hold the bag and
Yeah.
wrapping it around your leg.
Yeah.
You're gonna get it nicked, man, if you
That's
behave
right.
in that manner. If I put trust in my neighbourhood that you're not gonna take my things, then I think you get that back.
Of course.
It shows you in the way you.
I've left my front door open for a whole day by accident. Completely by accident. Nobody came in my house.
Yeah, I think it's
Nobody touched my front door.
It's very important.
I don't think that you get the same in other areas. It's not as apparent, I don't think.
No. So, okay, so talk to me about the sound, man. What actually, because like I was saying, I was completely in our workshop, and your sister come walking in, and we all sat down, and then we all went, anyway, so we're thinking about doing a sound system. wait a minute. And then she sat there, she goes, hold on. I don't want to say nothing. I don't want to get you all excited. I was like, okay, what are you going to tell me? She goes, I've got a sound system. I'm in a sound with my sisters. And we all knit together and we was like, what?
The whole place.
The
man.
whole place. It was like, I
Sure,
believe in
man.
fate. I think that sometimes things happen for a reason. So what do you reckon the symbolic significance of Brixton is to not just the UK but the rest of the world?
Oh my gosh.
This is the place where you meet.
Yeah.
You come and meet and you venture out. I know people that the first place they came when they got off the plane, this is the first place they come. They moved out, they come back. You move out, you come back. You've got a cousin that you know that lives down the road. You didn't know this person that you went to school with lived in this area down the road. So it means a lot. Even me that come from northwest London, Brixton means a lot to me. Because from here I went to a lot of different places. I went to dance, learned how to, went to college where I studied dance as well. First house parties, underage, Brixton. I was safe.
Yeah.
No matter if I knew the person directly,
Yeah.
they knew my family and they would look after me. So that's how much it meant to me. And this is 20 odd years ago.
Do you know, I think, just adding on to what you're saying, sorry, interject. Oh, wait, no, wait,
Yeah.
stick a pin.
No.
Okay, right, okay. No, because we were in Jamaica last year, and they still say, are you from England? We're from Brixton.
From Brixton,
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
How are you
yes,
still
yes.
saying that in
Yes.
2019?
Yeah.
They're still saying
They're
that.
still
Yeah.
saying they're from Brixton. Like, I was like, there's so many other areas.
Yeah, exactly.
You're from Brixton.
But why do you think that is, though?
It's the
It's
it's
just
it's
that,
the culture, it's the
reputation.
community. Yeah. It's and what is available. We've got resources here. As I said, you can go to the shop and get your yam, your green banana, your plantain, your ackee, your saltfish, all of your home foods that you know about. You can get it all on one corner.
Yeah.
You haven't got to travel here, there, and everywhere to get what you want. And it's also that Brixton is a 24-hour place. It
Yeah.
does not
Doesn't
close
sleep.
down. You can get West Indian food 24 hours a day. You can get alcohol 24 hours a day. Whatever you want, you can get. You can get your local shopping 24 hours a day. It's gonna be open. So just the fact of, I think it's the resources and the availability and the fact that it's always bustling. You know, even if you're not into the market and stuff like that, you've got so many bars, so many clubs. What do you call it? The O2 Academy.
The Academy.
Yeah, you got Brixton Academy. How many people come through there? How many famous people come through there? Like, literally, the bands that are up there are so diverse. So you're always going to get that kind of influx of new people visiting, but you've always got, your diehards.
It's like a port without
It
a
is.
port,
That's
isn't
yeah.
it?
That's the best
Yeah,
way to put it.
and because
yeah.
it's
I mean-
very, very, very close to central London, you can walk to central London from here. Like as soon as you get to Elephant and Castle, you're in zone 1. Vauxhall, same thing, you're in zone 1. Victoria's down the road. Like it's just ridiculously accessible. You've got underground, you've got overground, you've got British Rail, you've got buses that 24. Yeah.
And plus, we are a talented place as well, right? A lot of things come out of Bristol,
Sure.
like from music.
Poor people always make good things.
Oh, yes.
Always. It's almost that gives you that extra strength, right? Because you've got that richness of that poverty and the grind and the hard work
Yeah.
all intersect in your body. And if you've got any type of intelligence or creativity and you put that together, it's powerful. You know? I know from my experience, it's like it's so rich. I have to make it simple for it to be palatable.
Yes.
It's almost too rich for you. That makes sense. But I can make it sound like you want to understand. It's only up to black people. Actually, I want you to understand. So I make it palatable so you can get a taste of what we're going through. You know? And I think that's where my creativity has allowed me to do that. And it's like my artist is the same. She's been able to bring across messages to people in such a way. From Nathan for his music, and I've got another one in comedy. It's a great place of a factory, an industry of creativity. And that's what I love about Brixton. It's a amount of talent and intelligence you meet. It's just shocking. You know,
I just think it's a place that people go, I really need an idea, I'm just going to go Brixton and
Yeah.
find out
Yeah.
what they're doing.
It brings a lot of
Do you know what I mean?
creativity.
So there's
It brings a lot,
creativity
yeah.
without some form of business acumen. So it's like the creativity is almost like, it's like a treasure trove of creativity. People just come and teeth it.
yeah, 'cause
That's what
it's
it
almost
feels
like.
like.
We don't sell it. We kind of like.
No,
Because
because
you're
it's like sound systems. Sorry to cut you.
No, you're
it's
not.
like sound systems that are really, really big in their community, but that's the only place they're known. Because they only play dances in their community.
Yeah.
They don't go anywhere else. So, yeah, it's.
There's this thing like you get rich and switch. People think because you've gone out, right, or you're spreading the word that you're abandoning my culture, right? But sometimes I say to people, no, we have to. I can't convert those already converted.
Sure.
Yeah.
I have to go to those unconverted to then spread that message further. And sometimes that journey takes us away from. But people misread it.
Yeah.
That's why I take pleasure coming back now. It's difficult because it's not. They don't have the same money mindset as what I might have. I was working at BBC in West London. You know what I mean? It's like we'll all sit there and meet in Brixton. They're like, "Child, man, just come."
Yeah.
You know, and it's almost like, "Just set it up, man. Child, how easy." And you're like, "Fucking, it's so easy, man." Or they go too far the other way. It's too business-like.
Yeah.
Like mafia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh man, what am I? So I'll tell you what I'd like to ask you then. This would be the final question now, right? Talking about the sound system, maybe. How the hell did that come through? And how did we get legs 11? Well, I can imagine why we got legs 11. You've got to say it for me, you know? I don't want to get done for any like improprieties.
I would say the sound system itself has always been in the family as far as I know. And obviously, well not obviously, but it is our father's who is leaving it and passing it on to his children. So it could have been the boys, it could have been the girls, it could have been anybody. It just so happened that us girls picked it up. The boys in our family actually make music. They're all kind of studio producers and things like that. So yeah, it happened purely by accident. We went round to our father's house and decided to turn it on. See what happened.
I'm laughing, right?
You know what? It was probably a night where we were like, we want to go out, but don't want to spend any money.
Yeah.
Don't want to put on shoes.
Don't want to dress up.
Sound system
Don't
is there. Go to the shop, buy some drinks,
Yeah.
cook some food,
Don't want to hear
play
music.
some
in the
music.
car. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't bother Dad.
Yeah.
Let's go and play some music.
That's right.
Don't bother him.
And that's simple.
It was
Literally.
that simple, and like
Literally.
we played for the first time. Well, it wasn't even we played together. I
keep laughing because the princess. Princess, you coming? Yeah, I'm gonna come. Yeah. Must be about 3 weeks in a row. It's just me and Michelle. God, Princess not coming. Princess turn up.
I ain't going on the decks no more. Fuck that. That's not my job.
We needed the 3 weeks to practice. Yeah. She was like, okay, I'm ready.
I don't even think I picked up the microphone until she came.
It's like,
And you
yeah,
thought about
we
it,
got
you
other
got
jobs.
That job was good.
Are you coming down on what time? I see you, sir.
Literally. She come and she did something. She just did.
Yeah.
Found a new job that
So-
day.
Yeah. So yeah, it started purely organically, purely by accident. You know,
And then Dad's like, did you know? No, she used to mix on the garage tunes, like garage on. You mean she mixed on garage?
so the same brother that we were speaking about before, he was very up into two-step, house and garage, house,
Yeah.
and things like that. So those kind of, and jungle. So those kind of records were,
They were in the house.
they were in the
Yeah.
house.
To
So
practice on it, we didn't know.
yeah, we didn't know.
Dad didn't tell you.
No.
He was like, yeah, but I knew she could.
So she's been
Okay,
so
I
not to
learned-
talk for
so
you.
I learned how to mix music when I was 15. My next door neighbour had a sound system as well,
Nobody
just in
told us this.
Northwest London. He used to teach me how he used to scratch and stuff like that. I've forgotten how to scratch now, but I still know how to mix. So yeah, a few times I was at Dad's, I was bored, and he was like, just, what are you sitting down here for? Sound system is there, records are there, play the music. And that's how I learned, 15. Now I'm here today.
Great.
And what is good as well is that because she's learning from fast music, the beats per minute that she's mixing at is quite high. So now when she transfers those skills to reggae,
It must be easy for her.
G-man backside.
To her, it must be.
Do you understand?
I've never, you'll see, boy, sir.
She's
Yeah.
like that in her.
I've seen, what wheel? Wait, hold on. Put that here.
And the way that it's like, all right, I'm too much on the decks, yeah. I'm like,
You're nervous.
what does this do?
Just like,
This one on the decks, cool as a cucumber. She don't even break a sweat. It's just so well, I wouldn't say so easy, but she makes it look easy. You make it look like anyone can do it, and I definitely know that's not the case.
So then you had to find new jobs. So how did you get your role?
I had to
then?
find a job. What? Someone's got to give her the record. I find a job because I thought the microphone. No, son. There's no bass in my throat. It's like, what you want to do, Rise? No. No. To find a new job. I found a new job very quickly.
But also on top of that, even though we all know our music and what is to be mixed into what, Yasmin has this back catalogue in her head of
I think it's all
different-
possible, that's why.
Yeah.
It's possible. And you could do anything. Could you just drop that in on the second verse? Yeah. But she done it, and then Michelle goes, how do you do that?
So I guess I got the mic. I got lumbered with the mic. No, not lumbered with it. But basically, I used to MC back in the day, and I used to go to the studio with. This is the next Brixton Leaks. Fright Night Crew, large up to you lot. So yeah, I used to go to a studio in Angeltown with a bugger man. A bugger man. I was literally the only lady in the place. And yeah, with them, I used to MC, I used to DJ. God, stop.
Wait a minute. I'm like, no. Oh, dear. Okay, I'm back.
Yeah, so I used to MC and DJ with them, but like actually going back a little bit before that, how I came across MCing is me and my ex-boyfriend. We used to oh God, we used to sell sound tapes. We used to actually get the tapes. We used to actually get the tapes from General Levy's brother in Tottenham, and we used to record the tapes off and literally walk up and down Tottenham High Road selling these sound tapes. We're talking Stone Love, Bass Odyssey,
Yes,
Java,
everybody's of the tapes.
all of them.
Yeah.
And the classic thing, right? Our company name was
Best
called
bit.
Sellotape.
That right there.
Let me just give you that one, man, because come on, man. Come on, man.
I remember seeing it, like
Yeah,
stuck on the tape.
Yeah,
no,
so
so that's brilliant,
every
man.
tape we used to write on it, sell
Sellotape.
a
God,
tape.
man.
And then on the other side we used to write who it was and things like that.
God.
So me and him was really heavily into, obviously, sound tapes and listening to them back and forth. So on our travels, which used to be, again, next Brixton link, his auntie used to live in Summer Leighton Estate. And so we used to go and visit her all of the time. So on our travels, like especially travelling on the Victoria line from one end to the other, we used to have sound clashes between each other. So he used to sing one tune or chat one tune, I then come in with the next one, he then counteracts it, I come in with the next one. It was back and forth like that. So then one day he goes, do you know what, you're actually really good at DJing, but I've only DJ'd other people's tunes. So then I started writing, and one thing led to another, started going studio, and Bob's your uncle, I'm there, chatting on the mic.
You're going to be doing that for us at the thing, right?
Oh, yes.
I'll be doing a little bit, yes. I'll be doing a little bit. I'll be toasting, definitely.
Perfect.
So, yeah, that's how I fell into MCing. So it was kind of natural that I ended up taking up the microphone and toasting for Legs 11.
It's funny because when the way you lot have just told that story, it just reminds me how uncannily we find roles within that structure, don't we? We recognise who's good.
Yep.
Then we're like, okay, I need to go and get my little bit now.
That's
you
right.
know? And then you do your bit and you add to that mixture, and it becomes even much richer, right? And I love the bit when they say.
But the other thing you don't know about Princess is when she does pick up the microphone,
That's right.
the amazing voice that comes out
That's
of her.
right.
She's a singer.
Singer-songwriter.
Okay,
Amazing.
For that thingy, you got between the three of you, come up with something for.
What was you saying the other day?
Come
Like
up with
the verses.
something.
Yeah.
It'd be nice.
I think that's.
You know?
I think that's possible.
You reckon?
I reckon
Oh, we've
it's
got a
possible.
narrative. What's your relationship to Brixton?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I'd expect you lot's verses in the morning.
Yes,
No, really, I'm joking.
Yes, miss.
Yes,
Yes, miss.
I'll be following you up with an email. No problem.
So yeah, that's that. Yeah, so we basically fell into our roles and just kept it moving, and we just like basically started going to what we call HQ, which is our father's house. Just started going there on a regular basis and just playing and just messing around with stuff. And then we was like, do you know what? We're actually really good. Because the amount of enjoyment that we have when we come out of there, we're on such a high. We're like, this is better than any rave, any dance, any kind of gathering that I could go
It's
to.
yours.
And it's just what we're doing. And the vibes is just immense. And then we're like, well, we need to take these vibes and pass it on. And we need to give this out, you know? And so, yeah, we just started.
So how many
Playing
more
outside.
days? Just you three in the crew? That's it, you carry the boxes,
Yeah.
string it up,
String it
Yeah.
up.
you bring it down,
Yeah.
and you carry it back home again.
Yep.
Correct.
I'm speechless. I know some men that can't even manage the box by themselves, yeah? And you lot just
We were on a train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just mids, just
Yep.
outdoor.
Next
Wait, what? Yeah, man.
So your dad must be proud though, right?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, immensely.
Absolutely.
You know, because you're carrying on a legacy that he don't want to see die himself, right? So are you going to want to pass on that legacy? Is that?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Yeah. Like even one. Sorry.
I don't think we have a choice, to be honest. It's happened for a reason, and it's not for us to put it down and let it catch dust. So.
Like her daughter plays on the sound system.
She does, but her phone. I mean, I'm not, I'm not a purist, but the chat, she can select.
But she can select.
Is she?
Oh my gosh.
She could fly back in her black roses and come through with most stack, and you're like, how did you
you
go
came
from
there?
there to
Yeah.
there? But she knows
Even
her
my
music.
daughter one time she We're in the middle of a set. I think my daughter must have been about.
Gosh,
I think she must have been about 7
Yeah,
at the
about
time.
7.
stopped
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Just
She,
how dare you?
we're playing a set. I don't even know what happened, but she stops this track, this vinyl that is going around. This is a 7-year-old that's playing with her. She stops it, and the way that she stopped it, it was so musically correct. And then she let it go.
Let it go.
And I was like,
Who did that?
And she was walking past. She was like,
it was so. It's like it's just it's born in us. It's in us. It's in us.
and I suppose once you see people doing it, you then believe that you can do it. You know. I suppose that's why we do those kind of presentations and sharing in Ireland, like to show those young people that yes, you're female, but you can do this.
Easily.
And it's important that they're around that type of environment as well, isn't it? That they feel it's in their reach. To do it.
Exactly.
I think that's what we learned as a family. I grew up in a family where, I won't say hustling, but hustling was the key to what was going on. And so we bred hustlers, right?
Sure.
But once music came in, like through my auntie, she brought the music into the family. Then my brother had the sound, and my nephew had the sound.
It's a different
nephew,
hustle.
all of a sudden, we're breeding different types of young people.
Yes.
And it's a positive, like you're saying, they'll be walking past, and because they see uncle do it or daddy do it,
That's
they're
right.
not in it.
You can do it.
They're not. And then the God again, you're like, yeah, he's picked up where he picked up. That's how it should be. And I think it's so. That's what I'm saying. It's so important to keep alive these type of things like the sound, these legacies, and to keep them going on, and to let people know, especially young ones, that it takes hard work and it takes dedication and passion, right? And these are the 3 things you need to have in life if you're going to progress.
In anything.
In anything.
In anything.
You need that inside you, and the word hard work especially. And it comes with all sorts of disappointments, and sometimes we don't even get what we want. Like you're saying, we might string up, we've got to take our stuff, and we might go and play a dance, might not even get paid. But the point is, we've had a good night.
That's right.
We've done what we've got to do. There was moments within that moments that people have been happy for what they've gone through, and we've given you that happiness. You know what I mean? And it brings you such respect. Because when I see my brother and my family walk through Brixton, and even myself, someone told us the other day, and he goes, if I don't get 1 yes in Brixton, something's wrong.
I was walking through Brixton. Them
Just
called me
now,
city
innit?
star.
At least, yeah.
The amount of people that are
That's what-
stuck.
Yeah, you walk through Brixton, you know that you're doing something right because
Yeah.
a man is hailing you.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And you go, yo, and then you try and be cool about it, but that's what it's for me is all about. I know that I've done something correct around. You can't take that away from me. Or anybody that does that.
But one thing I do rate is Dad immensely because he wasn't the type of father to say, this is my CD player, this is my turntable, don't touch it. He very much encouraged us to play about with the equipment. Whereas a lot of parents or some parents would be like, no, you're not touching it.
Not the
Leave that
radio.
alone.
Yeah,
Not the radio, not that. But Dad, he's like, what's the worst you can do?
Make a mistake.
You know?
Break something.
Yeah.
And he'll just fix
Put the
it.
jack
He'll buy
into
another
the
one.
wrong thing.
Yeah.
And make that loud noise. What are you doing, Dad?
Was it, is it a patient man?
Very, yeah. Patient
Because
man.
that helps, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Patient man. Right donkey.
Any questions?
But yeah, I have to rate him for that.
Yeah, I've got one more question for each of you, which is so we were talking to some people recently who run different sound systems over different periods of time, and they were talking about the different roles within the sound system and what the significance of each of the roles is. And I was wondering what you feel the significance of each of your roles is within the sound system, and whether you feel that that's different because maybe you're a contemporary sound system or you're an all-female sound system, and how it compares and contrasts to like the sort of earlier sound systems.
Okay.
I would say there's a lot of similarities in the roles that we play compared to other sound systems. The biggest difference is the number of people in the sound system, because you can have a sound system with one person, they'll call themselves a sound system, they're the selector, operator and mics person, or you can have 10 people on a sound system where they got box boys, they got 2 selectors, they got 2 DJs, and so it depends on where the individual within that sound system lays their talent. Some people can play like house and garages, the two-step. Some people can play the bashments. Some people specialise in playing souls. And then, like I said, when you got your solo sound system, that person can dabble in everything. So it really depends on the individual within the sound system.
Yeah.
Something that you said ages ago actually was 2 turntables. An older sound system play one turntable.
Yeah, one turntable.
But it's like, well, we have to keep up with everyone, and it's like 2 turntable, 2 CDJs, a laptop,
Yeah.
USB. Like we feel like we have to turn our hand to all of them. Not we, Princess. we don't do anything. Let Princess do it. But there's always something. When we first started, it was like laptop.
Nah, we didn't like it.
No, just not. You don't get the true sound of the music. You just, there's nothing to play with. Like, you might as well just all sit down and you just play the laptop. But it's almost like half of the job of sound system is the visual sexiness. I needed another word there.
Especially being females.
God, the visual aspect.
I went to school as well.
There we go. The visual stimulus, the visual impact, and how that is pleasing. How pleasing it is to the eye. But when you see somebody around a laptop, it's like that's really boring. So I think that's the difference with us. I think also the way that we package ourselves. So there's definitely so we're playing on the 17th. Okay, so what we're wearing? That's always the next question. What we're wearing? And it's like,
And we always usually show some sort of legs somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
We always look dressed. We're not looking the same when we're carrying the set and setting up, that's overalls, that's tracksuit, that's head tie, because it's dusty, all of that stuff. But as soon as that's all set up, we're putting on our clothes because we're presenting something to the people. So.
Yeah, and it's a performance.
It is.
As much as the job is there to be done, we're still performing in a sense. But I think as well, what we're finding is that the performance, people are going, are they really playing music? They're like so kind of like,
What's going on?
no, they're really playing. No, look at her finger. That's really her finger doing that. And they're waiting for some guy to come over and touch the bass and nobody from anywhere comes. It's just us there. And I think a lot about us is that we are not manned by anyone outside of ourselves. It's if we're gonna mash up, Dad's gonna be in the corner going like,
He's gonna be with his
He's gonna be laughing.
I'll
tell
you
in the morning.
he's waiting for that. Like there were a lot of people for a long time thought we were fluking.
Yeah.
Like they're not really that. No, we are. And just like you don't look like you're ever struggling. I'm like, but and I think I think the difference with us is like we are neo sound system. So we are on Twitter, we are on Instagram, there's a new age of sound system, and we're just responding to it. Yeah.
I would say that the MC has kind of always been there in dances, but I would say as technology has kind of developed and people have become these kind of solo entities in, I don't know, I would call them DJs personally. I wouldn't call them a sound system. But these solo entities that are playing music, selecting, operating, voicing, doing all of the above, I would say that's changed. Because sometimes you could go to a party now and you don't hear any voice. All you do is hear music. There's nobody on the microphone. There's nobody saying anything. And it's still okay. But for me personally, I always like to hear an MC or a toaster, because they're the person that is directing the dance and letting people know what's going on, and not only just the people in the crowd, but the people, operator, and also DJ. If the crowd wants to rewind, it's usually me that's, yo, Harlan! As soon as I say something, Aisha knows it's a rewind that they're looking, if she hasn't actually physically seen it or heard it for herself. Because sometimes she's there mixing the next track. but they want a rewind on that track, you know? So it's me that has to give her the indication. Sometimes, depending on how the sound is set up or how the room is set up, Shusha would ask me, what can I hear? Can I hear good bass, mids, tops? And I'll be indicating to her, you know, what needs tweaking, what may not need tweaking, or it's just the volume, or...
You say that you're like, give me more.
Yeah, I know. I'm always saying,
It's
just
like,
give
I'm like,
me more butter, man. Give me more butter.
Are you sure? Because I don't want to go to jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
There's a constant communication happening.
There is a job, is what you said.
Sure.
As well.
Oh, it is a job.
People think you're up there enjoying yourself, but you're
but
not.
there is that aspect of enjoying, but there's also the aspect of we're here looking after this equipment. This equipment's still got to go home, and we still got to kind of make this dance nice.
Yeah, make everyone go home happy.
Because you could play,
Yeah.
but you could play for yourself.
That's right.
And there's a difference between playing for yourself and playing for the dance, because you might have to play music you might typically might not like.
That's right.
But it's what's going on, isn't it?
So yeah.
There's actually just one more thing I wanted to ask.
She's not going to leave you now.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. I find it so fascinating. But what's the name of the concept that you were saying before? When someone makes
Commoditization.
Commoditization. How does that work within a sound system context? And like, how has it worked over time? Is it an arena where that kind of concept takes place?
I think it's
Oh,
100%.
yeah, 100.
Can
100%.
you explain it?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you?
Can I say it? Okay, I would say it definitely does come into sound system because, all right, I would say, let me just take me. So I've gone from Miss Military, which was a name that was given to me when I first moved into South London because the man them thought I was very hardcore. I am very hardcore.
Militant.
Yes, militant. So, yeah. I basically was moving, it was when I first moved to South London and I was moving into a hostel. I've walked into the TV room and it's just pure man inside the TV room. This me right. I need 3 young strapping lads to help me carry my things them upstairs. I was like, wow, this girl's Millie.
All 10 of them were like, oh,
She's like, what?
I will
Yeah.
go.
So I got them to carry my stuff upstairs, but the name stuck with Miss Millie. So that's kind of what I ran with when I was with Fright Night and I was doing the MCing. Obviously with Miss Military, it's a very kind of hardcore, rough and ready name. So as I grew, I felt that it didn't quite fit the persona. So I grew up, become a primary school teacher. I've got masters in education, leadership and management, and you know all of these kind of other things. Miss Military does not really kind of attach itself to that persona as a whole. It's more like a separate entity, whereas the Smuddytization is almost like Smuddytization
Smuddy.
is what encompasses you as a whole, not piece. So I developed the name into Millie Red. So I've still got the Millie, because I am still Millie, it's still part of me.
That's what you are. Somebody, that's it.
But instead of the whole military, the Millie sounds a bit calmer. You know what I'm saying? And if you know me, you know where the Millie's coming from. The Red, also, if you know me, you know where the Red is coming from, because my surname is Scarlett. So that's where the Red comes from. It turned into Millie Red. And also, with dropping the Miss, it's because I've now grown up. So I'm no longer a miss. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm just me. You know?
Yes,
so,
you're smutty.
Yes, just me. I'm smutty. Also with like, there's obviously things attached to me, like my hair. That in itself brings a persona or an outlook, or what people. You know, when people see people with locks, you know, they have a certain perception. That's the word I'm looking for. So, you know what I mean?
Silent whisperer.
Do you understand? She doesn't say much, but when she does, it's just... So, yeah, I would say, again, the hair is just part of me where it's saying I'm natural, I'm fine in my own skin. I'm fine the way that I am and the way that, and everything that comes out of me or on me or anything that I put on. So And then I would say it even goes down to my clothing and how I dress and that, because I do like to dress, I don't know, women, aka sexy and whatever else, but it still needs to be modest. It still needs to be decent. So I still need to look like somebody pitney, not just hang pan nail, you know?
So Jamaican.
All of us like.
I can see the jacket. You know the one.
You know what I mean? The one
Yeah,
jacket that's on the nail, like,
Oh my God.
just all bent up. So I think, yeah, the Somaticization, I think it encompasses everything. I think without that, without me having that kind of all-round persona with the name, the hair, the clothes, and the attitudes, I'll just be a dry person on the mic.
But
You
that's the
know?
whole idea is what you're saying there, to be somebody, it starts off with some type of, it begins with a name, right? I just told you, my little brother, Brandy, when I said After Dark, everybody
There
knew
you
exactly
go,
what
yeah.
I said, you know what I mean?
There you go.
If somebody, you know her, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's a particular brand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shaka.
that's it.
Custom.
Brand.
You know where you're
Yeah.
going.
You know exactly
You know
where
where
you're
you go,
going.
yeah.
We know that.
You know the music you're gonna hear,
You might say
you
a
know.
sound system, never heard of you, like,
That's right.
who's that? We know you about that, but the song. But you might go and all of a sudden they prove that there's somebody.
That's
Yes.
right.
And that's the beauty about being somebody. You can prove it
Yeah.
within one moment if you're in the right place.